All right, we are doing this. I'm gonna start. What's up, guys, and happy New Year's. I am officially, all my videos I've been saying this, like, just shut up and post. With that being said, this video is going to be about breastfeeding. Whether you are a first-time mom, you have 2 babies, 3 babies, every pregnancy you learn something new, and there is a lot of things that I've learned breastfeeding my kids, and I just thought it would be helpful to share that with you guys. Maybe this video helps you, maybe this video doesn't. This video interesting, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It helps me figure out what to post and what kind of content you guys like for me to create. Also, right after this video, sometime next week, I will be doing a giveaway on these momcozy breast pumps. I'll just put a picture here. I use them a lot. This is my 3rd baby, and this is the first time I ever hear about them, and honestly they have saved me so much freaking time. So I will be doing a whole review on that, and enough rambling, let's get right into the video. This is all from personal experience. It might help someone else, it might not. Every mom is different, every baby is different, but this is things that I have learned myself personally that have helped me, and I've had a successful breastfeeding journey. I usually like to ask you guys on either Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat, whatever, what you guys want me to specifically touch on. So I did ask you guys what kind of questions you would like for me to answer, and I'm just going to start off with those. One of the questions, and I think a very important question, is when it comes to latching on your baby. All 3 of my babies have ended up in the NICU. That's usually not how it goes. Usually you have your baby, they'll hand you your baby, and you get to hold your baby, and the baby stays with you in the room. All my babies get taken to the NICU like a couple minutes right after I have them. So with that being said, I pump. I have been pumping right after birth with all 3 of my babies. Should you be pumping after you have a baby? No, not if you have your baby with you. I recommend anyone and everyone that asks me, if your baby's around, feed your baby, not the pump. And the reason because of that is because if you feed a pump, your body can oversupply. Although that sounds amazing, which it is, it can also be really, really painful. I will not recommend touching a pump at all if your baby is around you at all times. Does it hurt to latch your baby on? Yes, it can. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It can be painful and it can be uncomfortable trying to find something that works for you and your baby, and trying to carry them. It's a lot. It's stressful. So I would recommend getting a boppy pillow that look like this. One of the other questions was if I had trouble latching my kids on, and I did with Romeo, especially him being premature. He was born at 26 weeks. They're not fully developed to even suck, swallow, any of that. So with him, I did struggle a lot to latch on. With him, I was mostly attached to a pump for at least 3 to 4 months before I was actually even able to latch on. And I'm gonna mention that if your nipples are in, it is harder to feed a baby. It's not impossible, but it is a little bit more challenging. If you have outie nipples, then obviously it's easier for the baby to latch on. I'm not going to say easier always, but it helps. If you do have innies, they have what they call nipple shields, and you can use that to latch on the baby. This video can be really, really long. Like, I just realized how much about breastfeeding there is to it that people don't talk about. Like, I had so many questions and nobody really taught me anything. I would also like to mention that your milk will not come in right away. Whether you are pumping or latching your baby on, your milk doesn't fully come in until the 2nd to 3rd day. And that's because baby stomachs are really small. That if you're pumping and you are not making like a drop the first day, that is totally normal. Another of the things that I would have liked to know is when it comes to breastfeeding, you have to feed on demand. Feed on demand. It's literally what it sounds. When your baby is hungry, you feed the baby. When your baby is fussy, feed the baby. Even if it's 1 hour after the baby just ate, just keep feeding your baby. It's tiring. The first month is exhausting, but that's gonna help your body and your milk regulate. When it comes to breastfeeding, it's literally all about supply and demand. So when your baby is demanding food, your body will supply more. A lot of the times I realize that people stop breastfeeding because they assume their baby is not getting full. And from what I have learned is that as long as your baby is having wet diapers and gaining weight, your baby is getting more than enough food. I tend to notice that the reason why a lot of moms say their babies are not getting full with the breast milk is because they're constantly eating, and that is totally normal the first even like 2 months. Baby will cluster feed. They go through what we call growth sprouts, and it gets tiring, it gets frustrating. You just fed the baby and they're hungry again, and you're like, what the hell? Like, I fed you, you're changed, how are you still hungry? As long as you can get through the first month breastfeeding, the rest will get easier. All 3 of my kids have been breastfed, and Leo has self-weaned, so he stopped latching on all by himself around 1.5 years, I would like to say. When it comes to Asari, she is only about to be 8 months, and my goal always is at least up to 1 year, unless they wean off by themselves. But my goal is always 1 year. I obviously will go over. It's just a bonding experience overall. I love just to see my babies, and I'm like, oh my god, that is all me. All the little rolls you have, it's because of me. This video, like I said, it's just me trying to help other moms that are trying to breastfeed, because there is a lot to breastfeeding. I can make a video about when it comes to storing milk, because I do pump and store a lot of my milk, but most of the time, like I said, I will latch on my baby. Another question that I got is, how do you produce more milk? The thing here is that you don't have to produce any more milk than whatever your body is already producing. As long as you keep latching your baby on, your baby will get whatever it needs. Drinking a lot of fluids, drinking a lot of water, drinking body armors have helped a lot. Anything with like coconut water in general helps, but the main reason why your supply might drop is because either 1, you are not staying hydrated, and 2, you are not supplying your baby, or you're not latching the baby on. One of the other things that I would like I have mentioned, is when you should pump. Honestly, the only reason you should be pumping is so your body can stay regulated to a schedule. I work full-time, so I am away from my baby for 8 hours. During those 8 hours, technically she would feed 3 times. So I pump 3 times during the day, which is every 3 hours. And that's not what she's eating right now. Like, she eats, honestly, whenever my baby wants to eat, I will feed her. It doesn't matter if she ate 15 minutes ago, 3 hours ago. If she's hungry, we're gonna feed her, and that's how I've maintained my breast milk to continue coming. When it comes to pumping, make sure you pump for at least 10 to 25 minutes. Pretty much you have to think about it like if you're feeding your baby. Even if you can get 10 minutes in, your body's gonna be like, oh, we just fed something, so I have to make more. And you continue staying on a schedule, whatever. Like, you can go every 3 hours pumping, every 4 hours pumping. Sometimes you can go 2 hours pumping. If your milk supply is decreasing and you notice your baby is not gaining weight, your baby's not getting any wet diapers, you can try power pumping, and that's a whole other like video. I used to do that for Romeo, because I would skip a lot of pumps because I had no idea like how anything worked. Obviously, I was the first time mom. He was in the NICU. I couldn't latch him on. Even though I was around my baby a lot, we were not having like physical contact, so it was really confusing for my body to be like, oh, we're feeding a baby, okay, I need to make more milk. It's a lot. It gets confusing and it is overwhelming, but it's not impossible. Have I ever formula fed my kids? Yes, I have. I had to formula feed Romeo because he was 26 weeks. When a baby is that small, they need extra nutrients, so I had to supplement with formula and breast milk And what I would do is I would bottle feed him formula during the mornings, and at night I would just latch him on. And that is exactly why my milk supply dropped, because my body was like, oh, okay, we're only feeding once in 24 hours, where eventually, to the point, as Romeo kept growing, I kept feeding him more formula and my body was not supplying more breast milk. Eventually I just ended up transitioning to full formula because he was for sure not getting full with my milk, and that was really heartbreaking because I really wanted to breastfeed him for like a year, and I only went 6-7 months with him because the formula was throwing off my whole breastfeeding schedule. So as long as you stay in a schedule and, like I said, feed on demand, you should be able to produce enough milk for your baby, unless there's other complications, or I don't know, like there could be a lot of reasons why you can't breastfeed. Like I mentioned, I do work full-time Monday through Friday, and I do have 3 kids. It's overwhelming, and breastfeeding, pumping is a literally full-time job, but it's so rewarding just seeing your little kids. Like, it feels good knowing that you did that. Like, that's all me. I honestly, whether you breastfeed or formula feed, if you ask me for advice, I am going to help out however I can, regardless if it comes to formula and you're saying, hey, my baby is really gassy, like I don't know what to do, change the formula. Like, there's no wrong way when it comes to motherhood. Everybody does things differently. Also, as your baby grows and you start introducing foods and solids, which is around what, 4 to 6 months, you will notice your milk supply drop. But that is because now you are introducing food, and they're getting full with food and purees and Gerber, whatever you're giving them, but they're still going to want to feed off you. It's all about staying on a pattern, honestly. Like, when it comes to breastfeeding, it's not easy. It's just not. There's a lot of reasons why people don't do it, or like people don't want to do it, and I understand it, honestly. There's times where I'm just like, dude, I just don't want to pump anymore. I don't want to breastfeed. Like, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, I just want to lay down. It's a lot. Like, this, my freaking camera is gonna die now. But overall, I know you can do it if you really want to. It's all about supply and demand. Stay hydrated, stay on a schedule. You don't need to pump if your baby is around. Latch your baby on whenever they're hungry, and your supply will be fine. You can start oversupplying if you start pumping, and I'll probably touch more on pumping when I do the momcozy review. I also do have a code with them if you guys would like to purchase a pump now, but I will be giving one away. And since my camera is gonna die, I'm gonna cut this video right here. If there's any other questions that you guys would like me to answer, I can make a part 2 on this, so let me know in the comments or on my Instagram. Oh, also, I would like to mention that breastfeeding is not a form of birth control. You can still get pregnant if you are breastfeeding. I don't know where like that myth came that when you breastfeed you cannot get pregnant. You can. You very much can. So be careful with that. Also, breastfeeding does help lose weight, but also you get super hungry all the time where you're always munching. So it's kind of hard to like lose weight when you're always eating. You kind of just stay in like an average weight, kind of. So the camera ended up dying. Can you believe that? And she started crying because obviously she's hungry, and I'm gonna listen to her, and we're gonna feed her and put her to sleep. It helps when you guys ask questions, because I could ramble about a whole like subject, and then it's like, we don't even care about that, you know? We're gonna feed you. Yeah. And this is a sari for you guys that don't know, if you, whatever reason, you just end up seeing this video. But yeah, we feed anywhere, anytime, anywhere, right? Yes. And she's looking. She's at the age where she will pull my shirt down to let me know that she's hungry. So as a mom, it feels like a great accomplishment just to be able to nurture your baby. Plus the bond that comes with it. Oh, you're so tired. All right. Alright, we're gonna go put her to sleep. So with that being said, I'll see you guys on my next video. Yeah. So make sure to subscribe because my next video will be the giveaway for the breast pump. Can you go peace? Bye. Wow.